All right, everyone, I have a makeup tutorial for you today. It's a foundation technique. So I did one a couple years ago for dry skin, and it was one of my more viewed videos. And I know foundation is the one part of your makeup routine where you have to say a little prayer, have a silent moment, because it can be a little overwhelming. There's so many techniques, brushes, sponges, what kind of foundation do I get, what color, how do I know my undertone? There's so much to do with it. So I'm gonna break it down step by step in several videos. But today's video is all about foundation techniques for 40 and fabulous. We are not using the term mature on this channel because that sounds old. And if you're 40 and older, it does not mean you're old. Age is just a number. You are fabulous. So I am gonna turn 39 in a couple of months. I cannot believe it. My life has gone so fast. I keep thinking about it. People ask my age. I'm like, 35. Oh wait, 30. I'm gonna be 39. Oh my gosh. So I figured, you know what? Why not? I'm gonna do something for 40 and older, give you some specific tips. So anyways, enough of that. If you are 40 and older, generally as we get older, our skin tends to dry out a little bit and get a little thinner. So everything I'm going to show you is all about hydration, dewiness, glow, all of that stuff, because your skin can tend to look just a little bit dull and not fresh. So one of the things I like to do is either put a base down or mix it in with my foundation. I love using like oil enhancers. This is an Armani one. It's a little bit pricey, so I wouldn't say get this unless you absolutely want to splurge on yourself. So that's amazing. But I also like, this is actually a skincare item. This is one of my favorite brands. Sorry, the tube looks gross, but it's by LUMINOUS. It's their PRO-RADIANCE Illuminating Balm. It's meant to be a skincare item, but I like using it to prep the skin under the makeup. So basically you want something that's very hydrating, either a moisturizer, or actually in my drawer here, you can even use oil, depending on how dry your skin. If you're super dehydrated and dry, do a little bit of oil underneath, but I'm gonna use the balm. So what I do is I just put some of that on my hand, and the tool that you want to have in your supply, your arsenal of makeup, is a beauty blender. I wet it so it's just a little bit damp like this. We're gonna dip it into here and apply it to my skin, just as a base. If I could say anything about foundation techniques for 40 and fabulous, is priming is key and hydration. Okay, now that you guys have that base down, now you can choose your foundation, and I'll list all the products I'm using below. I'll give you different options so you guys can research and see what type of product is best for you. So now comes the foundation. You want to pick something that is either dewy or satin finish. So when you go to Sephora or Ulta or even the drugstore, look at the package and see what type of finish that it has. It'll say dewy or satin finish. Don't get the matte ones. It can look very thick and heavy on the skin. So some of my favorite ones, this has been my ride or die for a long time for this type of skin, is the NARS Sheer Glow. It's a very dewy finish to the skin. It's very beautiful, very fresh. Another one that I really like, it's a little bit thicker, so I would say only use this if you don't mind a full coverage. It's the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. That one's great. It's high coverage. It's like satin finish. It's not really dewy, so if you feel like this is too flat, add a little bit of oil in there. The other one that I really like is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation. I feel like this one gives a very fresh look. It looks like skin. Again, not too thick, not too cakey at all. And then the last option I have is actually a spray one. I'm gonna demonstrate this for you. It's the DIOR Flash one. It's been around for a long time. It's their AIRFLASH foundation. This is amazing for more mature skin because it's very lightweight. Really cool feature to that. So I'll show you that in a second. Okay. I'm gonna actually use let's use the Luminous Silk Foundation from Armani. So what I'm gonna do is put a little bit on the back of my hand, and I take that beauty blender and just dab this all over my skin. And do you see how it has just a very nice finish to it? And do you see how my skin looks very dewy and fresh because I put that base on underneath? If you feel that this is still too flat and you need more hydration, again, mix that oil into the foundation on the back of your hand, and it's gonna make it look really, really dewy and fresh. So once you do your face too, you want to apply a little bit to your chest, because for me, over the years, I've gotten a little bit of sun damage down here. I don't know if you guys can see my little freckles hanging out over here, which freckles are not a bad thing, but because I want my chest and my face to match, I always put a little bit down here, not a ton. So I'm gonna put a little bit more of that same foundation, the Luminous Silk, same beauty blender, and just dab a little bit here. Now, if you feel your neck and chest area is, you know, a little soft, or the skin is a little thin here, just do a very, very light layer. You don't want too much, because if you apply too much, it's gonna start sinking into some of the lines. So I like to do just a really, really light layer. And I like using the sponge too, because it really buffs and blends it out. Really quick, one foundation I wanted to show you as an option is the AIRFLASH one that I was talking about earlier. This is such an underused foundation. I don't know why a lot of people don't use it, because it's so convenient. It's an aerosol foundation. So what you can do is just spray this. What I like to do is I wash my hair, put my like skincare stuff on. I'll put my hair up in a towel to make this easier. So we're just gonna pin it back for now. We're literally gonna spray paint our face. So this is the color 201. Oh my gosh, look how beautiful that is. This is an amazing foundation if you're in a hurry, you need a little bit of coverage, you don't want it to look thick and heavy, but you still want to kind of just even out your skin. That's a great option for you. If you don't want to use a liquid foundation, you're in a hurry, you're headed out to work, just get this one, literally spray it on, mascara, lip gloss, you're out the door. Now, another tip, as we start to get older, our eyes underneath can get a little bit grayish. I'll do another complete video on how to conceal under eye dark circles, but one tip that I like to do is just take a very lightweight concealer and apply a little layer of that. Again, the skin under the eyes is super, super thin, especially as we get older. It can really thin out and start to get a little bit, they use the word crepey. It's a horrible word. I really hate using some of these terms, you guys. But you want to just use the lightest amount of concealer possible. I really like this one by Mercier. It's their Flawless Fusion Concealer. It's very lightweight. And I go one shade lighter than my foundation just to kind of brighten everything and highlight it. So just put a little layer of that. Again, super light layers. You don't want to get too thick. As soon as you put too much foundation on, it can take away the brightness of the skin that we want to show through. So do you see how I'm just putting it here, kind of in that triangle shape under the eyes? And again, just bounce that beauty blender. And the best way to apply it is not to sweep it. You want to do a bouncing motion like this. Now the next step is setting the powder, and this is where I say only use powder if you need it. I like to put just a teeny bit under the eyes just to set that extra layer of concealer that I put on. The number one mistake I think we make as we get older is because when we're younger, we tend to be a little bit oilier and we're like packing powder. It's like baking and cooking and all this stuff where we're slapping powder all over our face. But as we get older, that extra layer sitting on our skin that gets a little bit drier, a little bit thinner, can look very heavy and not real looking. So use the least amount of possible. I like using kind of a loose powder like this. This is the Cover FX one. It's a matte setting powder. Mercier has an amazing one that has a little bit of a sheen to it. That would be even better. But take that beauty blender again, and do you see how I pick up the slightest bit of powder in there? That I'm going to use to set under the eyes, just that little bit. And I, again, use that beauty blender where it's slightly damp, not wet, but just a little bit damp because it'll help melt that powder down. And do you guys see how I'm just putting it a little bit around the T-zone? I'm not putting any powder on the edge of my face. I'm gonna put a little bit on my chin just for me personally because I get a little bit oily there, but that's it. That's the amount of powder. So I don't recommend, I know, like my mom, bless my mom's heart, like her generation all had those powder compacts, and that's what they used to put their foundation on. But again, powder is the absolute no-no as you start to get older. You want everything to be very creamy, very dewy. Okay, now that the powder is set, we can add a little bit of blush. Now it can be hard to find cream blushes these days, so what you can actually do is use a lipstick. And I have a couple different color options for you if you have fair or deep skin. For fair skin, I like the Makeup Geek one in Naive. It's kind of a creamy, peachy color. You can see that one at all. That's great for fair to maybe slightly medium skin. And if you have caramel to deep skin, I actually like something deep and rosy like this. This is the Makeup Geek lipstick in Shy. So there's a couple options for you. I know there's a lot of advice out there saying, oh, if you want to look younger, you have to use pink blush. I don't believe in that at all. I'll show you in a second how peach blush can also be very flattering. So I'm going to take the lipstick, and this is basically a cream blush in a lipstick tube. That's all it is. Makeup is actually more simple than how we market it. It's basically cream formulas or powder formulas, and that's pretty much it. So if you have a cream in a tube, it's a lipstick. If you have a cream in a pot, oop, now it's a cream blush. So I'm gonna take that middle finger. And do you see how I'm just dabbing that on the apples of my cheeks? And you want to pick a lipstick that's not matte finish. Again, do you see how it's a creamy type formula? This is great for applying to the lips and the cheeks. And just dab this on. It just adds a little color to your face and a little bit of that creamy texture. Just like that. And then, bam, if you want, you got lipstick. Making it easy for you guys, make it easy. So there's that, so nice and creamy. Now, if you want to contour, because I still feel like even if you're over 40, you can contour just like anyone else can, but I do prefer using a more creamy stick like this. This is the Fenty Beauty one. I've been loving this so far. It's their matchstick. This is the color Mocha on me. I'm gonna show you, let's pin the hair back a little bit. And you guys always like, put your hair back when you do your makeup. I'm like, I'm sorry. So what I like to do is just put a little bit here under the cheekbone. And this is where then you can use a brush to blend it out. I'm gonna use the Sonia KASHUK brush. It's their buffing foundation brush. And again, cream formula. Do you see how I'm doing this motion? You can do a buffing motion or you can sweep it upwards. Don't sweep it down because you don't need to contour your jawline. And if you feel like it gets a little messy, just take your beauty blender. Just kind of soften this out in here. And all it really does is just adds a little bit of warmth and color under here. Hopefully that gives you some great tips for foundation application for 40 and fabulous. Not mature, fabulous. So anyways, if you guys have more videos that you want to do, comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also click on the little bell. YouTube has a little bell at the top now that you have to click to get notified that I have videos for you. So click on that too. Thanks for watching, you guys. Have a great one, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.